Welcome, everyone. We are so glad that you're here to join us for our second concert with the Sheperd School of Music at Rice University. It has been such a great honor to begin this partnership between Emanu and the Sheperd School of Music over this year. We're looking forward to continuing that connection next season. Just a few notes, a reminder to silence your cell phones so you can be present to this beautiful music. Our concert will be about an hour with no intermission, so you'll have time to get home in time for any events that may be happening this evening. And I just hope that you really enjoy the music we have prepared today.
Hi, everyone. So my name's Jacob. I'm one of the performers here today, and we're so thrilled to be back playing on this series. I think all four of us, actually, yeah. We were on this series in November, and it's such a pleasure to be back performing for you again. I thought I'd just say a little bit about this first piece. So this is written by Leonard Bernstein, who many of you may know already, one of the most famous American conductors of the 20th century, conducted the New York Philharmonic, was extraordinarily renowned for his conducting, but as well for his public communication about music. He was known for young people's concerts, for instance, conducting a bunch of Mahler cycles with the New York Phil, and really bringing this music to a wider audience. He was born in 1918 in Massachusetts, actually to Ukrainian Jewish parents, and he carried that heritage with him through his life. But this trio that we're about to play for you was actually from his youth. He wrote it in 1937 when he was still an undergraduate at Harvard, so he was still experimenting, learning new things, trying to assimilate everything that he had been taught by his teachers into his own language. So you'll hear some academic fugues, you'll hear some chromaticism, atonality, but you'll also hear some bluesy elements and some incorporation of folk Americana that would become such a central piece of his compositional output later on in pieces like West Side Story, Candide, On the Town, and so on and so forth. So hope you enjoy this youthful experiment into the classic genre of the piano trio by Lenny Bernstein.
Everyone. My name is Catherine. Next on the program, we have Gitare by Moszkowski. He was a Polish Jewish composer born in 1854 in Breslau, Prussia, which is now Poland. And he was very proud of his Jewish heritage, which was an interesting fact at this time because most people tried to hide the fact that they were Jewish. And he became a very well-known composer and conductor, as well as a teacher and a performer. And he was often compared to Chopin in his skills and his composing. So Gitare is a piece that was originally composed for the piano, and I think you'll hear as we're playing it, there's a lot of guitar-like effects with the pizzicato and the cello, as well as in the song itself, where it really works better with the strings instruments. And so his publisher recommended that he arrange it for a string instrument. And so he arranged it for cello and piano. And since then, it's been arranged for many different instrumentations as well. It's very Spanish sounding, very virtuosic. The pizzicato does sound a lot like the guitar, as I mentioned. And then there's a contrasting singing melody with the cello and piano. Hope you enjoy.
You already heard a little bit about the composer of this next piece, so I won't say too much, but just to provide a little bit more context, Moskowski was a very prolific composer. He composed over 200 piano pieces, and especially very popular music for piano duet. He composed in the light salon style of the late 19th century, but in his last years, his popularity began to fade as music trended more towards modernism, as you heard a little bit in the Bernstein. And he actually spent his last years in poverty. Despite the best efforts of his students and friends, they had a fundraising concert for him at Carnegie Hall that raised a lot of money, but he died before the funds could even reach him later that year. The suite for two violins and piano is written in this kind of lighter style at the height of his popularity in 1900. And the four movements are full of tuneful themes and divertimento-esque characters. It's actually one of Moskowski's better known works, who despite his very large output has fallen largely into obscurity. We have certainly enjoyed putting this piece together, and we hope that you enjoy it as well.
So as we kind of calm down for the next number on the program and reset the stage, I'll just speak a little bit about the next composer whose music you're about to hear. That composer is Felix Mendelssohn. He was born in 1809 in Hamburg, Germany, and he was the grandson of the fairly well-known Jewish German philosopher Moses Mendelssohn. Felix Mendelssohn's parents were actually not practicing the Jewish faith, and at the age of 7, Felix Mendelssohn was actually baptized. Nevertheless, he retained his name Mendelssohn and all of his subsequent publications, hyphenating it with the Christian name that he chose, Bartholdy. Despite his music being quite popular during his lifetime, it fell out of fashion towards the early 20th century, around the time of the World Wars, as it was completely banned from being performed. And around the 1950s and 60s, there was a resurgence in the interest in his music, and now you can hear his symphonies played very often in concert halls, and in fact his trios, which we performed one on the last concert a few months ago. In the piece you're about to hear, Mendelssohn actually composed this for piano solo originally, and it's called Song Without Words. And it's sort of a study for the pianist in how to play lyrically, how to play like a singer. This arrangement you're going to hear is obviously for cello and piano, and the cello can capture the human voice much easier than the percussive instrument of the piano. So I think it's a really touching arrangement of this very beautiful song. I hope you enjoy.
Andre Previn was born in Berlin in 1929 and displayed a talent for music from an early age. He attended the Berlin Conservatory until he was expelled for being Jewish. In 1938, his family left Germany for Paris and then came to America, landing in Los Angeles. Previn worked as a composer, conductor, and arranger in Hollywood for MGM Studios, creating music for over 50 films and winning 4 Academy Awards, one of which was for his orchestration of My Fair Lady in 1964. He was also known for his jazz musicianship, as well as being a renowned conductor for the Houston Symphony Orchestra, the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra, the Los Angeles Philharmonic, and the Oslo Philharmonic, as well as the principal conductor of the London Symphony Orchestra and the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra. And he was a prolific composer. Among his many compositions, he composed 2 song cycles with lyrics written by Toni Morrison, Honey and Rue, and 4 songs, one of which you will hear now, the song called Shelter. Kathy brought this piece to my attention. I had never heard it before, and I was mesmerized by it. It reminds me of our Hashkivenu prayer, finding shelter under your wings from ordinary things, dreaming of mountains, rivers, and forests, idyllic and sometimes overwhelming, maybe a little scary. It is easy to get lost in the rhythms and unexpected melodies.
Moving on to the next piece on the program. This piece, entitled Prayer, is by Ernest Bloch, a composer you don't really hear a lot these days. His music has really fallen into obscurity, and that's very unfortunate because what you're about to hear is a very beautiful piece, perhaps his most well-known work, actually. He was born in Geneva in 1880 to a Jewish family and moved as a very young man to the United States to pursue several teaching positions. He actually passed away in Washington State and spent most of his teaching career on the West Coast. His music often reflects and explores his Jewish heritage. He actually said he felt that it was his only way to incorporate his Jewish heritage and Jewish themes into his music. It was the only way for him to create music of vitality and significance. So this piece is a movement from a larger work called Scenes from Jewish Life. And the piece that you'll hear is called Prayer. I hope you enjoy.
the final piece on tonight's program, Isaac and I will be performing a Gershwin piano prelude for you. This is a jazzy blues piece. It's a lot of fun, some improv and coordination and collaboration between us. So a little bit about Gershwin. He was an American Jewish composer born in Brooklyn, and his parents were of Ukrainian heritage. They actually came to the U.S. When they were fleeing anti-Jewish sentiments, and Gershwin quickly rose to fame in the U.S. And he wrote this piece in 1926. He was very experimental. He was crucial to the American classical music influenced by jazz. And you probably have heard of his piece, Rhapsody in Blue, for the piano. That's his most famous work. We are going to be performing the second movement from this set of 3 preludes, the Andante con moto, and he referred to it as his blues lullaby. There's a winding melody in the cello, which you'll hear above the bass line in the piano. So thank you again so much for being here this afternoon, and we hope you've enjoyed the concert.
To conclude, I wanted to just thank these amazing, extraordinary musicians for being here today. It has been such a pleasure. It was really a treat to get to sing with you. And I want to just say a special thank you to Kathy Audis for being our program director on this project. And we wish her mazel tov, as she has just accepted a job with the Seattle Symphony. Just a couple more thank yous to our AV team, Troy Valtiera and Paul Kerner, to help us make us sound great today, and our maintenance staff for helping with our setup, to Gloria Prizant and Anna Shabtai for being my partners in crime, and all of our friends of music at Emmanuel, all of our donors, thank you so much. If you're interested in becoming a friend of Music at Emmanuel, you can find information on our website or talk to me or Anna Shabtai, our development director. Our next Music at Emmanuel event is our final event of our series this year, a concert to celebrate Israel's 75th birthday on April 25th. We hope you'll join us, and I have a few really wonderful cantors coming in to join me for that concert. Thank you for coming today. We hope you have a wonderful evening.